What's good, everyone? What is good? Welcome back to the channel with here, of course, Mac. Hope you all having a great day today. And today we are doing a Sims for speed build. I don't know speed build is doing this yet because I'm pre-recording this because I got some stuff I gotta do today. And yeah, I thought I'd go ahead and pre-record this right now. Mainly because I just want to talk to you guys about something. Honestly, it's gonna be foolishness. I warn you right now, if you guys are not in for me and my past teenage angst slash growing up stories, it has to do with anime and shit. Excuse my language. It has to do with anime. If you're not into that, that's totally fine. Go ahead and mute the video, play some other music in the background, and go ahead and watch this video. But again, I have no one to talk about. Excuse me, I just burped on the game. Anyways, I have no one to talk to this about because why not? And this is a great way to get out my emotions, you know? So I'm gonna do it. So if you want to stay and listen, that's totally fine. If you don't, go ahead and stop the video. It's totally up to you. I won't say like any triggers because I don't know if it can trigger anybody else because again it's my story, so I don't know if anyone else will go off it. But if you any time during this if I'm talking about something that's very touching to you or it gets you in type of mood, it's okay. Pause the video, turn off the voice recorder. Turn off the pause, mute the video, go watch something else. Totally fine. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. Also, whatever video this is, I hope y'all do enjoy the build. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I really appreciate it. Today we're going to talk about my childhood because, not even my child, just a specific part of my childhood. So we have to go back. So this is anime called Gundam Seed. I'm actually crying right now because I'll get into it why I'm so sad. But anyways, this is an anime called Gundam Seed. It's a Japanese, I don't say cartoon because I feel like I'm disrespecting anime calling cartoon. But anyways, anime is pretty much animation cut into, short. That's why I think it is. It's animation, just cut into shorts. It's anime, and it's born in Japan. It could be. I don't know where it came from. My guess is from Japan because that's where it's heavily made from. But I could be totally wrong. Again. But anyways, yeah, so we're gonna talk about that because I was watching it since I was a kid. Like I started with, I think you guys know this, I started with Sailor Moon and card captures. I loved that stuff. But then while I was growing up, I guess anime was really popular because I don't know, it just became really popular, especially in Canada or the United States. And then we started getting this show called Bionics. It used to be on YTV thing, and I used to get all of these other animes. That's why I started watching Naruto, Bleach. That's why I fell in love with Bleach. I love Bleach so much. Bleach, Inuyasha. Oh my baby. I still remember the Inuyasha movies came out. I think they were played on YTV until like the fourth movie, which is the last movie. I absolutely loved Inuyasha because of that. I watched it. I learned about Boa, who I thought was Japanese all my childhood. Didn't know till she was actually in SM in Korea until I got to K-pop. But yeah, I fully thought she was Japanese the whole time. But anyways, that's where I discovered my love for J-pop and J-rock. My favorite song of all time till this day is Every Heart by Boa. Like there's no, like, you could, like, that's a lot. I love music. I love so much different songs, different genres. I love 90s R&B just so much. But my favorite song till day, no, like, honestly, whenever I get a new phone or a new MP3 player, the first song I always add on is Boa Every Heart, because that's just my song. I love it. I remember I heard Inuyasha's ending song when I was like, I don't even know, 7 or something, and I loved it. And I remember I loved it so much that I would run home like every Friday. Me and my brothers would always get McDonald's. We called it fast food day, because we wouldn't get fast food any other time during the week because we couldn't afford it at that time. But mom splurged because she's an amazing person and she knew we wanted McDonald's. So we went to McDonald's. We got the one thing we always wanted. So I always got myself a nice 10-piece chicken nuggets, a medium fry, and a medium drink. And I used to come home with that. That was my dinner for the night. And we always went there because my mom always get home at like 6 o'clock, and then we'd jump in the car and get to McDonald's and we'd order. And if we had time, we'd eat there. If not, we'd take it home because by 8 o'clock we had to be home because that's when Bionic started and that's when anime played. It was always like Naruto, 2 episodes of Naruto, 2 episodes of Bleach, then an episode of Inuyasha. Anyways, but let's not talk into that. So what I'm talking about right now is an anime called Gundam Seed. This is a show that has a lot of, if you go online, there's a lot of negative reviews on it, which honestly I can see where they come from. One of the character has kind of like a god complex, not god complex, but they kind of created a godlike character, you know, like he cannot be defeated. Well, he can be defeated, but just not beaten. Like he'll lose a battle, but he'll never lose a war type of thing. Which is kind of normal with every main character, so I don't know why people are giving it so much hate. But anyways, moving on. I digress. So this show was really something. Like watching it back, I didn't even watch it back. I literally just watched an opening because my favorite song from there, actually my second favorite song of all time, is Seesaw's can't even pronounce the name because it's not in English. It's like it goes "Aunani ishuta ataruri myurume wa momo shitaruri ro serete kuro taki akeri yoshikate." Anyways, moving on. It goes like that. It's the first ending of that show. I love it till this day. I don't think I'll ever love another song like I love that one. Like I love all different songs differently. Like for example, I love Naruto Shippuden's ending song. I'm not opening song. Bluebirds. Love that song to a point of no return. Ikara 取らないと言って下手したのは青い青いあのさ Okay, anyways, moving on. But yeah, I love that song. But anyways, moving on. I just love that ending. But back to what I was talking about with my teen and what's going through right now. So that show is very not even gory. It's just as a kid, I guess I didn't register how hard hitting it is because it is. It talks. It pretty much follows a character, which is their name is. His name is Yamamoto. Kira Yamamoto. Sorry, you probably have heard that name because again, I vowed to name my first dog Kira Yamamoto, but did I do that? No, my mom wouldn't let me, so I named her Mocha. But yeah, I love Kira Yamamoto. He was my favorite character growing up. Again, he's the godlike character, but I love him. I really do because he's honestly like he's 15 and he went through some ish. Like imagine being 15 and recruited to fight people and kill people. Like could you imagine how much that must like degrade on you? And he did it. He had to because he wanted to protect his friends. But anyways, moving on to that, there's this character who honestly she's very toxic. If we're being honest, she's extremely toxic. She pretty much okay, I have to go back now to explain what is going on. So I'm trying to sum this up in 2 minutes. So Gundam Seeds pretty much there's like a fight between Corallians. I hope I'm saying right. I can't. Coordinators and humans, if that makes any sense. I think that's right. It's coordinators and humans, but some coordinators are actually mixed into humans. But there's a war between them, and so the humans hate coordinators, and the coordinators just want to destroy the humans. I think that's how it goes. So, anyways, moving on from that. There is a girl named Flay Allstar, whose dad works with the human military, and she absolutely hates coordinators. And so we end up finding out that Kira is a coordinator, and she treated him like garbage, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. She talked behind his back, she would say mean stuff, she just wasn't a nice person. And then what happened one day is that her dad ends up passing away from a battle, and she just changes. I guess she goes into, I don't even know. She goes into psych, like, honestly crazy mode, where she feels like she needs to make the Corelli on board happy because he's the one who fights for everybody. Because she feels like, I guess what my reception of it, as a kid, I was just watching because I thought it was cool. But now I feel like, as an adult, and I see she feels like he could waver because some of his friends are Corellians and on the other side, and so people think that he could not want to fight no more, which I think is really hypocritical because he's fighting to save them, and they're talking about how he might betray them. Like that's some dog. Like your friends are talking about how like you're not fighting hard enough. Like you go get in the mobile suit and you fight. Like who are you? Anyways, moving on. Flippin' Ziggy. Guy pissed me off when he said that. Moving back to the thing, I guess she felt like, yeah, he could possibly do that, so she felt like she needed to become an important piece for him to motivate him to fight. So she ends up seducing him, and they end up having a moment. But here's another thing. She is actually married, or to be married, for one of his friends named Sai. They're actually to be married. And everyone knows this, but Kira always had a crush on Flay, but he stepped back because, that was Sai's girl, and Flay never really paid attention to him. So anyways, so Flay starts making moves on him, he feels good, Sai finds out, man twists Sai's arm back, telling him to back off, anyways, and then we found out that they had relations, and then, they woohooed together pretty much, and then it pretty much just shows them, like, every time he's up fighting, you just see the psychic, like, the craziness going on her face about how she had to, fight for her, and how she's doing this so that he killed every single one of them. It was crazy, but here's the thing. I love her, okay? I love Flay Allstar. People hate her, and I understand when they hate her. She's hella toxic, but she's so realistic. You have to think about it. You got a 15-year-old girl fighting, not fighting in a war, watching a war play out. Her dad just died, and she doesn't feel safe. She needs some type of safety net. And What's the best way to have a safety net is to attach yourself to somebody who's fighting, that who can protect you. And that's what she did. You know, everyone hates her for it, and they cuss about her. And honestly, I see it, but I still the same time, I love her for that, because there's this another character named Lacus Prime. Well, not Lacus Prime, Lacus Klein, and honestly, she's the meaning of a Saint Mary. Like, war's happening and she's singing. You know, she's happy-go-lucky. She's telling these speeches. Like, I don't know. At some point, I think she's a robot, because she's so positive. But honestly, I don't see how. If you have people out there dying and people, you know, going through ish, how can you be so positive all the time? It's gonna take a toll on you, you know? And she's so young too. So again, it just, I never really could connect to that character, because I always felt like she was just too good. Even as a kid, I always felt like she was just too good. And I know that Flay is toxic in her way of her actions, but I couldn't like not hate her, because I understood where she came from. I understood why she did what she had to do, and honestly, I think a lot of people would have done the same thing, because when you're in that situation, you need that safety, and she went for it. And anyways, what I'm talking about that now is because I just watched a play-by-play, and I just watched every single person die, and I realized something, that when I watched Flay, because Flay actually ends up dying at the end, which it's been like, what, 20 years? I'm still not over it yet. Like, I just cried. That's why I was crying, because I had to watch her die again, because it hurts my heart, because I know they wanted him to be with Lacus, but again, I couldn't, because in my heart I felt like, even though the relationship was toxic, and again, I never condone a toxic relationship. I'll never condone a toxic relationship, you know? I always say if it's toxic to leave, but like, they loved each other. Not they loved each other, but they cared so much. Like, he cared for her. Yeah, she might have been a bit manipulative, but like, when he was breaking down and crying, she was there. She was holding him. She was comforting him. When everyone kept on, you know, badgering him but not going too hard, she was by his side, cheering him up. Again, yeah, her motives were not totally there, but it's what he needed at the time. And there's so much times where he could have gave up, but he was there for her. He was her comfort, and it just hurts me that, like, they just I'm so emotional to this, because they were like my first OTP. Actually, that's a lie. My first OTP was Inuyasha Kagome, and let's not even talk about Ichigo and Rikuya, because I'll rage quit. Well, that's for another day. But anyways, yeah, I'll have to continue the story about and go more in depth. But yeah, I was just crying. Not even because of that. There's so much more. Again, I'll talk about that later. Oh, anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Thank y'all for watching, and of course, I'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out. Deuces, peace, bye, later. I love y'all. Peace.